fastest growing companies, the most successful companies don't cut corners. What we have to do is figure out a way to accelerate the business, but not lose control. And legal and regulatory compliance is a big part of that.
So why does the government care so much about fiber that they're willing to invest $43 billion?
And I think
Garret Van Osdell, Chief Legal Officer and Corporate Secretary over at Fidium, is going to share today how smart discipline turns a bold fiber growth strategy into long-lasting success. It is time to fiber up. You all seem to be thinking bigger. Fiber across America.
we are moving fast. We want to offer our customers the latest and greatest technological platform for telecommunication services, and that requires us to, that's our bread and butter.
And you're coming in with this modern solution that frankly is disruptive. But why do you do it?
We're trying to move big rocks. I think a really good example of that is
every leader wants to move fast, but the real advantage comes when you can move fast and stay on course. Garret Van Osdell, Chief Legal Officer and Corporate Secretary over at Fidium, is going to share today how smart discipline turns a bold fiber growth strategy into long-lasting success. Welcome back to Breakthrough Leaders. I'm your host, Ben Fanning. It is time to fiber up. Garret, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, Ben, thanks for having me.
So can companies really scale fiber fast and stay accountable?
The fastest growing companies, the most successful companies are companies that don't cut corners, but they're companies that build their businesses with confidence. They know that they have a foundation that they can grow and scale off of. And legal and regulatory compliance is a big part of that.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't think your voice, I think the voice of the legal world when it comes to this is not being heard enough. And I'm glad that you're willing to come on and talk about it, because really I feel like once legal gets involved, it means it's going to get slow. It's going to get red tapey, and all of our excitement is just going to be drained because we're dealing with legal. But talking to you, I don't feel like that's your approach.
No, man, that's not us. We are not the Department of No, which sometimes we get labeled with. I'll tell you what we do strive to be. We strive to be an enabler of growth and success for the business. I mean, we think of ourselves not as gatekeepers. We think of ourselves as strategic partners for the business, problem solvers. We do serve certainly as a responsible checkpoint on our business, but our job is to clear obstacles, peer around the corners, anticipate risks, and help architect and design a framework that's going to allow the business to succeed.
Well, you've been taking a look at this industry for a while. Where do leaders go wrong when they're often trying to scale really fast with fiber?
Well, there is a risk of trying to go too fast without being thoughtful. Like, growth certainly requires speed, and we are moving fast. Transformation, by definition, is hard, and transformations happen quickly. I would say that, speed without guardrails, will lead to crashes, right? So what we have to do is figure out a way to accelerate the business, but not lose control. Legal and compliance, that's our job. Like, we need to create predictable pathways, a strong foundation for the business to allow us to move boldly, whether it's M&A or product launches or new markets. We need to embed compliance processes into the business, help our teams move faster, partner with them, and allow them to move boldly with confidence.
So how do you balance moving boldly with confidence with protecting the customers from a regulatory standpoint?
We have to balance the acceleration of that growth without jeopardizing it. We do live in a regulated arena, for better or for worse. We're seeing the framework around us change a little bit as a fiber company, but our job as a forward-thinking business is to understand how we can test and at times challenge the regulatory framework that's around us, and that's what we do every day. We work with public utility commissions, we work with municipalities, We deal with government agencies to, in some ways, help evolve the business.
What's an example of a time you're able to jump in there and help them navigate that to help get them up and running faster and better?
Yeah, I'd say a couple of different ways. I mean, I would say that a lot of our bread and butter in the legal and regulatory world is to, again, kind of clear obstacles, create a pathway. We seek consents, approvals, waivers. We are in proceedings with PUCs.
What's a PUC?
Public Utility Commission.
Okay, so like, what's one that leaders got to watch out for? Like, if they want the fiber, they want it now, what do they got to watch out for on this front?
Well, from a transactional standpoint, we have to seek approvals before we do a lot of things, before we can seek investment, before we can put encumbrances on regulated assets, before we can divest properties or acquire properties. All of that requires, there's an educational process at the Public Utility Commission as part of that. So we petition for these approvals. We go through fairly long and arduous processes, sometimes both at the state and the federal level in front of the FCC. And we educate them on our business, and our business is changing in a very dynamic industry. And sometimes there's an inherent conflict with, again, the regulatory world that was developed for our industry decades and decades ago, and where we want to take our business.
Yeah, where do you want to take it?
Well, we want to fiber up. We want to expand our fiber network. We want to offer our customers the latest and greatest technological platform for telecommunication services that we can, and that requires us to again move fast and scale.
I love it. How can organizations and municipalities be helpful in getting all this done? Because otherwise, maybe it's hard just for one company to be doing all.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a really good example of that is, and this is an effort that's been underway for a number of years. We've been very active in seeking government subsidy through programs that federal and state agencies have put in place. In northern New England, we've been very successful with public-private partnerships. They want us in their markets and their communities, and we've been able to partner with them and really work through a lot of the issues that you kind of raised there around access and right-of-way and the ownership of the network, and develop a creative path to be able to serve these customers.
What's one of your favorite wins to share?
I would say generally public-private partnerships overall with municipalities, particularly New Hampshire. We did a tremendous amount of PPP work there, have been very, very successful, and has really created a blueprint for us. And I think, for other telcos in how to partner directly. We're in the middle of, and we think of ourselves, legal and compliance also thinks of ourselves as a de facto business development group. Again, with these government subsidy programs, the BEAD program, which is, initially a $43 billion federal subsidy program that's going to bring fiber to underserved and unserved communities in the country. We've been very active in that. We're undergoing a complicated process in terms of understanding how we're bidding on BEAD, and we're seeing initial success. We're in early stages of getting bid proposal responses back from the states. All of that has been just terrific to the business, and it's consistent with what we're trying to do here, and that is fiber up.
So why does the government care so much about fiber that they're willing to invest $43 billion to promote fiber across America? The
government, as we all do, understand how critical and how important connectivity is, and a modernized infrastructure that allows our communities across the country to have access to high-speed internet, and that's what we're doing.
You're coming in with this modern solution that frankly is disruptive in a positive way. But why do you do it? Because you could be in a lot of industries, working for a lot of companies. Why fiber broadband?
Ben, it's fun. It's a dynamic industry. It's a fun ride, and it's important to me to be part of something that I believe in, and I really do believe in expanding high speed broadband internet to every corner of the country, and that is what we're trying to do.
A favorite. It could be compliance related, but it could be just like, hey, this happened in this community, this business, this person, they got fiber access, and holy smokes, it was a game changer.
One personal favorite victory that I guess I have is a little less exciting, but for a stodgy lawyer like me, it warms my heart. I mean, we have been able to navigate an extremely challenging regulatory framework in terms of getting the company in a position to be where we are today, to have evolved our business, to have grown our business, to have sold businesses that were primarily copper-based legacy businesses, to get investment capital into the business, into our company, so that we can do what we want to do here, and that is continue to build and to scale quickly. So that warms my heart.
You almost see it as like a higher calling or like a noble cause, because you're like, it's not just a one-off person or business. It's laying the groundwork for an entire future for fiber. What does fiber up mean to you?
It's a great question. To me, it's effectively a call to action. I think I like the tagline. It's inspirational. It evokes action, and that's the mode that we're in right now. I mean, it's where we are now and where we want to go.
When you're laying the future infrastructure of America, the legal side is a big deal. So great job, Garret. Thanks for coming on. Breakthrough Leaders. Can't wait to see what happens next for you.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.